Hi everyone, welcome to Beyond the Evidence. This is the channel where justice matters. My name is Marv. I am a true crime fanatic, and I love to dig deeper into the mysteries of unsolved cases. Join me as we search for missing persons, uncover the clues in unsolved murders, follow along with jury trials, and we'll be a voice for the voiceless. I'll share with you the facts, the theories, the clues, the evidence, and the controversies that surround these cases. This is Beyond the Evidence. Hello everyone, good evening. We're live from Indiana. I did make it here yesterday, and glad I'm here. As you can see, we have a different color wall behind us. So, new location in Indiana. Hey Jill, hey Randy, Andrea, nice to see you. Thanks for everyone who's here. Today I was given a newspaper from the Kokomo Tribune, and it's got a very interesting article that I want to read to you and discuss. As you all know, tomorrow kicks off this Delphi Murders trial with Richard Allen. We are doing a prayer vigil at 1:30 at the Monon High Bridge. If you can make it, please join us. I know Randy and I usually get there early, so we'll be there long before it starts. Hey, Rescue All the Dogs and Lollipop, thanks for joining us. Okay, so I want to get to this article. As you all know, I hate my bifocals, so I'm going to I want to show it to you here. There you go. Make sure it's straight. And this is from the Kokomo Tribune, October 12th, 2004. And you're going to see me do something different. I'm actually going to take my glasses off to read this, but I won't be able to read your comments until I put my glasses back on. So, the title is An Interesting Trial. Former prosecutor weighs in on Delphi case. And this was written by Kim Dunlap from the Kokomo Tribune. So it starts out, it says, it's a case that captured worldwide attention over the past 7 years. And beginning Monday, 52-year-old Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen officially goes on trial for his alleged connection to the deaths of Carroll County teenagers Libby German and Abby Williams in February of 2017. As we know, this has been a long time coming, and myself included, along with others, didn't think that this trial was going to happen. At least not in the past and not now. But it's happening. Judge Gull is going full forward, and this trial is starting. So it says, buckle your seatbelts, because what's that line from actress Bette Davis? It's going to be bumpy. That's how Hale Johnston, a former prosecutor and current adjunct professor with the Indiana State University, Robert H. McKinley School of Law described the Delphi case during a phone call Wednesday afternoon with the Tribune. As well as speaking to the Tribune on Wednesday, Johnston, who said he has used the Delphi case as a curriculum in his class, has also agreed to check in throughout the trial, which is expected to start in Allen County with jury selection, then end in Carroll County around November 15th. It's going to be an interesting trial, Johnston said. I think it's going to be a real roller coaster. This case has already been, he added. Gotta get to the next page. Okay. So he breaks this down. A case is formed. It was February 14, 2017, that the bodies of German and Williams were located along the banks of Deer Creek, near the Monon High Bridge area, where they're dropped off the day before to spend some time together. And for the next 5.5 years, through released images of a man investigators simply called Bridge Guy, an audio loop taken from German's phone, and sketches from witness testimony that portrayed the alleged suspect, there was one major question that plagued the girls' families and friends. It also burned a figurative hole in the psyche of Delphi, the small community of nearly 3,000. Who could do such a thing? Flash forward to November 1st, 2022. Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter stepped to a podium at Delphi United Methodist Church and looked out at the packed room in front of him. Today is not a day to celebrate, but it's a major step in leading to a conclusion in this long-term and complex investigation, Carter said that day, adding Allen was in police custody and facing 2 charges of felony murder. The Carroll County Prosecutor's Office later amended those felony murder charges, and they also added 2 counts of kidnapping against Allen. And though he said he's seen a lot over his 40-plus years of practicing law, including over 25 homicide investigations and around 70 major jury trials, Johnston was stunned when he saw that the Carroll County Prosecutor's Office charged Allen initially with felony murder. I told my class, this is how not to prosecute a case, Johnston said. When you charge someone with felony murder, you're essentially admitting this guy isn't the killer, but assisted the killer somehow. Johnston then gave an example of 2 men who decided to rob a liquor store to help prove his point. One of the men drives the car, and the other goes in and shoots and kills the clerk. He said, I'm charging the guy who shot and killed the clerk with armed robbery and murder. The guy who sits in the car can be charged with felony murder because he assisted, aided, induced, or caused the crime. So when they charged Allen with felony murder, I thought, well, where's the killer? Well, Johnston added, now they've since amended the charges, but I didn't understand why they filed that in the beginning, because a prosecutor wants to start out strong. You don't want to have to amend charges later on. Another confusing move early on by the Carroll County Prosecutor's Office, according to Johnston, was not filing for the death penalty. Because when you file for the death penalty, you ratchet up the level of proof for the jury, Johnston explained. In other words, jurors know if they convict the defendant on a death penalty case, they are the ones who will make the decision on whether that defendant is put to death. For jurors, the standard is beyond a reasonable doubt, he said, especially in a death penalty case. Jurors are going to want to have a confession. They're going to want to have DNA and fiber and fingerprints and eyewitnesses. They want a level of proof. There's no doubt this guy did it. And right now, I just don't see that in this case. So I'm going to put my glasses on and we're going to discuss this first part. What do you think of Mr. Johnston's opinions in that first part? He says that the charges were filed incorrectly from the beginning. He also says that the death penalty should have been on the table. How do you guys feel about that? Just looking at everybody. The 14th is a holiday. No, the trial is set from October 14th to November 14th. They're allowed 1 month. Longest week ever. We just started busy season, so I'm going to be 14 hours. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. Nobody has a response to that? Nothing? I've often wondered why the death penalty wasn't put on the table either. That I will say. And them charging him the way that they did in the beginning went along with what Nick McClellan said about other actors. Okay. So, thinking about everything that has gone on, I'm wondering, do these other actors, and the reason they changed the charges is because the other actors are going to come into play after this trial is over? And what I mean by that is, are they going to go after the individuals who used the Anthony Shots account? Are they going to go after all the CSAM? Because if you remember, in the Keegan Kline documents, they said this is the biggest CSAM investigation that they have ever had. So will there be a part 2 to all of this once this trial is done? Don't know. No, he really didn't. Which is kind of weird. You know, but at the same time, he did bring up things that we all wondered about. You know, he brought up of why did they charge him that way in the beginning, and then and say there's other actors, and then come along and change it to he is the one that did it. Is that Nick McClellan's inexperience as a prosecutor? Dull Chains, you can definitely have your opinion here. I don't agree with you, but we'll see. Big surprise, deep-rooted. Yeah, something is deep-rooted. Corrupted cops and biased judge. I do believe that there is some corruption in Carroll County. There has been. It's a good old boys club. We all know that. But if they were truly corrupt, then the defense is going to prove that, especially in this case. The confessions, that's why. You could be onto something, Mustang. I think they wanted to make sure no one else helped him after the fact. True. Hi, CJK. Once they had those, they knew Alan was the only one involved. Right. I think they had a lot more investigating to do to make sure that they could not connect him to anybody. The judge has been great trying to keep the defense from leaking again. True. All small towns have some sort of corruption. Doesn't mean Alan isn't the guy, though. I agree with that. There's even some corruption in my little local town, so I don't know how to get around it. If anybody's got any ideas, let me know. Oh, okay. All right. Let's go on to the next part. So, Johnston's voice on the phone then grew louder as he began to talk about what he referred to as the drama and infighting surrounding the Delphi case. From Carroll County Prosecutor Nick McClelland, attempting to hold Alan's legal team in contempt of court to an evidence leak of crime scene photos in October 2023 that led to Judge Fran Gull disqualifying defense attorneys Bradley Rozzi and Andrew Baldwin. This case has been anything but normal, Johnston said. It's remarkable, he admitted. I mean, obviously not a lot of people are getting along. And then you add on the publicity of it. This is such a high-profile case. And what's remarkable is, you don't even have a conviction. And the case has already gone to the Indiana Supreme Court to have Alan's legal team reinstated. But one of the most interesting parts of the case, Johnston said, was the third-party theory presented by the defense. In September 2023, Alan's legal team filed a 136-page memorandum to the court claiming German and Williams were ritualistically sacrificed and killed by members of a pagan Norse religion and white nationalist-linked group referred to as Odinist. The claim the defense used to back up their arguments were crime scene details, which had never been made public until the filing. That, they say, reportedly pointed to the involvement of Odinism in the girl's death, including the discovery of several runes, which are described as sticks that were deliberately arranged on the girls' bodies. The defense also claimed a symbol resembling an F was painted on a nearby tree using German's blood, per the memorandum, which they argued was also part of Odinism involvement. Earlier this year, the prosecution filed their own objection to the mention of Odinism during Alan's trial, and Gull ultimately ruled in their favor last month. But Johnston, who called Rozzi and Baldwin pure knuckle brawlers, believes the defense has a right to present those theories in front of a jury. The defense is trying to lay this foundation, he said. I never, as a prosecutor, ever came in and tried to limit what the defense was trying to say. Now, certainly, they have to follow the rules of evidence and can't throw hearsay or inadmissible evidence in. But if the defense believes there is another killer out there, they should be able to argue that. And in her ruling, Gull did leave the door open for the defense to argue those third-party theories, calling in an offer of proof that must be argued outside the presence of the jury. It remains to be seen, however, what that argument will look like. That's just one of the many things Johnston said he'll be looking for as Allen's trial begins next week. And he encouraged those who are following the case to read up on terms like reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt, he noted, is a fair and logical doubt that rises in a person's mind after hearing the evidence of a case. And the prosecution doesn't have to overcome all doubt to get a conviction. Johnston noted, just like a defendant's arrest doesn't show proof of guilt. There have been enormous publicity in this case, he said, but that's not proof of guilt. What would be proof of guilt is the evidence and what's heard from the witness stand. I feel there will be issues of reasonable doubt in this case. And if the defense is smart, they will hammer that word, doubt, a lot. The defense doesn't have to put down anything, Johnston added. They have no obligation to present a single thing. They can remain silent and have that Fifth Amendment right, because they don't have to prove reasonable doubt. It's the prosecution that has to overcome that. And then in this article is just the facts. So let's see what they believe the facts are. How we got here, the Delphi Murders. February 13, 2017, Abby Williams, 13, and Liberty German, 14, are dropped off around 1 p.m. at Monon High Bridge area near downtown Delphi. February 14, 2017, the girls' bodies are located near banks of nearby Deer Creek. February 15, 2017, police reveal German's phone is found. On it contains images of a man walking across the Monon High Bridge. That unidentified man began to be known as Bridge Guy. A national tip line was also created. February 22, 2017, police release audio from German's phone of a man's voice saying, "Down the hill." July 17, 2017, police released the first sketch of the alleged suspect in the case. April 22, 2019, Indiana State Police released what they call an updated sketch, showing what appears to be an individual that looks very different than the first sketch. Police also released additional audio taken from German's phone. October 13th, 2022, police interview Richard Matthew Allen, 50, of Delphi, who tells police he was on the Monon High Bridge the day the girls went missing, but did not see them. Police also reportedly interviewed him in 2017. October 26, 2022, 5 years after the girls' deaths, police officially arrest Allen on 2 counts of murder related to the deaths of German and Williams. His charges have since been amended to include kidnapping. Around the same time, police search Allen's home, locating a firearm they believe matched a bullet found at the crime scene. November 29, 2022, police released the probable cause affidavit. In the document, witnesses state that they see a man matching the description of the image found on German's phone walking away from the Monon High Bridge with bloody jeans. September 18, 2023, Allen's legal team releases a lengthy memorandum arguing Libby German and Abby Williams were ritualistically sacrificed by a pagan Norse religion and white nationalist. Link group referred to as the Odinist. October 31st, 2023. Allen County Superior Court Judge Francis Gull, who's presiding over the case, officially disqualifies defense attorneys Bradley Rozzi and Andrew Baldwin for an evidence leak related to crime scene photos. The pair take the plea to the Indiana Supreme Court and are eventually reinstated to the case. July 31st through August 2nd, 2024. In a series of hearings, Carroll County Prosecutor Mick McClelland argues confessions made by Allen to jail employees, family, and friends should be admitted into evidence during Allen's jury trial. In the same hearings, Allen's legal team argues Odinism should also be allowed. Gull eventually rules the confessions can be admitted, but rules against the defense's third-party theories. October 14th through November 15th. The jury selection for the Delphi case will be in Allen County beginning Monday. After the jury selection is over, the trial will then move to Carroll County, where it's expected to end on or around November 15th. I just want to make sure that's the end. Yes, it is. So coming from a former prosecutor, he's stating that he even thinks that the third party should come in. But yet Gull said, no way. My question to everybody is this. If the defense had gone with a third-party theory and did not actually name individuals, okay, so they put on a defense that it was somebody else, but they had not named individuals. Do you think Gull would have allowed that versus negating all of it? The state has done a great job, in my opinion, keeping everything out that will only cause doubt. Yep. My other question to you, the audience, today is this. Do you think it would have been better for the defense to hold all of this information until trial instead of putting out the information in the memorandums and the motions and everything else? Gibbo says, I disagree with him, but he's old school. McClelland knows what he's doing. It's a different era now. I agree with you there. Olivia says, I don't think so. Lollipop says no. TLS says, probably because they couldn't place any of those men there at the time. And I absolutely agree with you. I personally, in my opinion, think that if the defense had come in and used a third-party theory without naming any individuals, they would have been allowed to present that theory. But because they went about it and named specific individuals, and they have no proof that those individuals were at the trails or the area where the girls were found, were murdered and found, That is why she threw it out. The defense threw out what they could to see what would stick. Well, what kind of plan is that? Because it totally backfired on them. And now they're complaining they don't have any defense at all because she took this away from them. So, thinking back in hindsight, that probably wasn't the best thing for the defense to do. Mustang says they call it the spaghetti defense. Yeah. It's just frustrating because from what we've seen, these are two respectable defense attorneys. But what they've done in this case, to me, has hurt their client. Because they went all in and divulged information that was being held for years for a reason, and threw everything they had on this third-party defense, and now they can't use it. The thing is, their theory was debunked, so Odin didn't do this. Third party with no suspect, but prove it by attacking the evidence that was their only chance, but they know the case is solid. I agree. If they had not individually named those people and just attacked the evidence and said that it could have been somebody else, that would have been their best bet. The defense had no real defense. They shouldn't have gone with the Easter Bunny or Santa. Marv, I know, right? So, the reason I'm reading this to you is because these are things that have kept me up at night. I've heard other people say the same thing. Watching all the different podcasts and YouTube channels that talk about Delphi, reading articles, other people have said the same thing. Josh, I was just checking out channels. So some familiar peeps in here, first time here. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Does anyone remember the mole lady trying to say there was a 6-foot bunny rabbit left at the crime scene? It was not a bunny rabbit. It was a teddy bear that they said was left at the crime scene. And they said that there was a sheet with a smiley face on it. They said that there was dolls laying all over and coins spread around the bodies. Arrowheads. We've heard it all. And none of that is true. And that's coming from the 3-day hearings and the testimony that was given specifically about that area where the girls died and where they were found. So, like I said in my last live, I'm going into this trial with this mind frame. Take everything we've heard, push it way back in my mind. Sit in that courtroom. Listen to both sides. Both sides present their witnesses and their evidence and make a decision on whether Richard Allen is guilty or not based on that information and that information alone. And I'm going to report that to you every day. What the defense did good, what the defense did, in my opinion, which was wrong. Same thing for the prosecution. And give you the information that we learned that day regarding the testimony. So basically, everybody that watches Beyond the Evidence is going to be the 13th juror. And then once we hear all the evidence, we're going to come together while we're waiting for a verdict, and we're going to tell each other what we think the verdict should be and why. So I just think this guy's take on it was interesting. Didn't sound like he had a lot of confidence in Nick McClelland at all. Are you looking forward to seeing KK? No. Absolutely not. I think what's going to happen is on Friday, when we have opening statements, that's going to tell us a lot. There's going to be a lot of information in that prosecution's opening statements because they're going to tell us what we're going to see and hear and why Richard Allen is the one that did this. And then you're going to hear from the defense of why that's not true. And it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. Now, yes, they did file another motion to bring in the third-party defense. And that's just so they can get it on the record. The only way Judge Gull is going to allow them to bring this in now is if they actually have evidence showing that Elvis Fields, Keegan Kline, Ron Logan, Tony Kline, Brad Holder, and the rest of them were actually there that day. If they don't have that, it's not coming in. I can't wait to hear what the defense says about the 60-something confessions. Exactly. How do you get around that? But at the same time, I want to know exact words of what were said in those confessions. Is it detailed? What details were given in those confessions? Was it just him saying, I did it? A general statement. Now, we've heard there's both. Well, I want to know exactly word for word what were in those confessions. So, I'm excited. I'm apprehensive. There's a lot of anxiety going on right now because this is truly happening. But in true defense fashion, they have threw a lot at the court the last 2 days, Thursday and Friday, for the judge to go over before all of this starts. How is everyone else feeling? There's over 50 people watching this. How are you all feeling? I can't wait for the crew will be irrelevant as of the day of verdict. Well, we sure hope so. Very apprehensive. Yeah. I was sent pics today of all the privacy partitions outside of court. Crap is getting real. I may have to go on a long drive. Yeah. I mean, starting tomorrow night, the shit is real. And Monday, I will be driving to Fort Wayne, and I will be sitting through jury selection. I am thinking, Josh, because you're asking, are there likely to be a hearing on those motions during jury trial selections, or is it mostly motions without hearings? Now, in a response to the motion for the jury to go to the scene of the crime and the bridge, the judge did say that they would have a hearing on Thursday. So what that means is they're going to do jury selection Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And now with all the other motions that the defense has filed, I think she's going to have to set aside a few hours on Thursday morning to go over all this and to have a hearing and make these decisions. Because Thursday afternoon, the jury is getting transferred to the Delphi area. They are being secluded in a hotel room. Now, let me just tell you this from experience of watching trials. If you are an individual who is a YouTube creator, a true crime enthusiast, somebody with the main media, and you think you're going to figure out what hotel these jurors are in and go talk to them, you got another thing coming. Because I've heard people already make the comment, I'm going to go find those jurors and tell them this and that. Well, not going to happen. Because once that jury is selected, they have guards with them from that moment on. You will not get to them. And those guards are with them at the hotels. They will be secluded. It's a good chance that whole floor that the jury is on, they will not rent any rooms to anyone near those jurors. That whole floor will be for the jury. And I guarantee you will not be able to step foot in that hotel. Let's see here. Love from Australia. Thank you so much. Justice for the girls and their families. Rides on this. No one else has been arrested, and I don't believe anyone else ever will be. It's Alan, in my opinion. Olivia says, I'm excited about the trial starting, but nervous too. Absolutely. We aren't leaving till Tuesday afternoon, so if they are canceling, do it before then. I agree. But I don't think she's going to cancel it this time. She's going to make them go through with this. Miranda, honey, I hope you feel better soon. You're going home tomorrow from the hospital. Well, keep me updated, and I hope that you get better very, very soon. After hearing a misguided prayer last night for Carter and Holman to tell the truth, it proves Satan is alive and well, and true intercessory prayer for truth and justice is needed. I absolutely agree with you, and that is why we are having the prayer walk tomorrow at 1:30 at the Monon High Bridge. Well, they have to have them stay somewhat close because they don't want to be transporting them for an hour, hour and a half. Yeah, nobody is going to. I mean, don't get me wrong, okay? When they're transporting, I've seen it in other cases, okay? I've seen it where somebody from the media figures out where the pickup and the drop off point is to get them into the courthouse. And they take pictures or talk about that, and they get in trouble for it. They absolutely get in trouble for it. I've seen that happen, but I have never once in all my years of watching trials heard of somebody actually going into a hotel and talking to a juror. And this is what it's all about. This is why we're paying attention to this case. We want justice for Abby and Libby, and we want the truth. Yeah, that's what they kept saying. Well, thank you. And that's all we can ask for, Josh. Not everyone is religious. We know that. It was named the prayer walk, but it's for individuals to come and show respect and support to the families, to Abby and Libby. If you want to call it that you are putting out all your good vibes for them, we'll take it. Some pray, some don't, and that's fine. Whatever you're willing to give, love, support, good vibes, whatever prayers, we'll take it. So, yeah, just respect. It's to show respect and that we care. Exactly. Have a good night, Miranda. And it's one last chance for all of us to get together and be in that area, by that bridge, on that bridge, by the crime scene, before we learn exactly what all of this entailed. That's going to be important. We all have our thoughts, our feelings on this. We have different opinions. And that's fine. But in the end, 2 girls lost their lives. And we've been kept in the dark for a long time as to why that happened, how that happened, when it exactly happened. And after 8 years, we're going to learn those details. Yes, right now, Josh, the third party motion is to get it on the record without the jury present. That way it's on the record so that when they file their appeal, it's all there. I believe that is also why they're bringing in Keegan Kline, James Chadwell, James Haas, and it's to get all of that information on record because those 3 individuals, while one represents Ron Logan, one is Keegan Kline, and I guess hang on a minute. That's my son calling me. Just let me text him back real quick. I know that their band competition was canceled because of lightning. I'll call him back. No, so if she comes back again and says that she is denying their request to present a third-party theory, the only thing they can do with those witnesses is bring them in, put them on the stand without the jury present, have them testify so that it's on the record for appeal. Now, the only one, Chadwell, he wasn't really a suspect in all this. I don't know exactly why they're calling him, because they found out he wasn't even near Delphi at this time. But the only one that I'm not sure about is the Reese Davis Jr. guy. I'm not sure what his testimony is all about. So until we find out, he may actually testify. I don't know. But they have to have all of this on the record because in the state of Indiana, there's an automatic appeal at the end of the trial after the verdict. If he's found guilty, if Richard Allen is found guilty, there's an automatic appeal. And a higher court will take a look at everything. So we'll know once all the evidence for both sides has been presented. We'll have a better understanding of, will that automatic appeal just be set aside stating the verdict is correct, or will they find something that was done incorrectly and tell us that a new trial has to be done? It's going to have to be something major, though. Something major to reverse that and have a second trial. It can't just be little things. It has to be major. So we'll see. I hope, Josh, that I've helped answer your questions. I know you're new here, and I want to make sure that everybody understands that. And I'm glad that you're asking these questions, so that everybody knows what's going on. Let's see here. Yeah, I think maybe out of the four, the Reese Jr. guy might be the only one that could possibly be presented to the jury. Because we don't know what his relationship to the case is exactly. But I know the other three are just mainly for the automatic appeal at the end. Does anybody have any other questions for me tonight? Thank you. I'm a librarian, so I ask a lot of questions. My colleagues from another creator could probably tell you that. That's okay. I welcome any and all questions. If I don't know the answer, I'll tell you I don't know the answer and try to find the answer for you. But I can say that I have been watching trials for a very long time. In fact, it's crazy because Monday starts jury selection for the Delphi trial, but it also starts selection for the Sarah Boone trial, who is the woman that was playing hide and seek with her boyfriend and who zipped him up in a suitcase and then went to bed and didn't try to get him out till the next morning and found him deceased in the suitcase. So that jury selection is also happening on Monday. And the jury selection for Leilani Quinton Simon's mother, just finished, and they are actually going to start on that trial. And that is a case that we talked about a lot when it first happened. So my weekends are going to be crazy trying to give you updates on all of the other cases that I look out for and where there's stuff happening. Not all appeal reviews are granted. Exactly, they're not. They have to review it. They're going to review it no matter what. But they don't have to grant the appeal. They can say, nope, we agree with everything that was done and the verdict. It's done. And then if the defense still disagrees, then they actually have to go to the higher court about that. And they have to write all their legal stuff of why he should get a new trial and what evidence wasn't allowed in. And then there would actually be another hearing at that level to see if a new trial should be given. And if that one is denied, then they have to go to the highest court. So, oh, Josh, yeah, they're interesting. Definitely interesting. I have not gotten to talk about the Sarah Boone case and trial yet because I've been focusing on Tabitha and Delphi. But there's a lot of other cases on this channel that you'll learn about. You can go back and watch prior videos. I do a lot of other smaller cases that don't get a lot of views and are just as heartbreaking. So, yes, you have been, Lollipop. Thanks, Josh. I appreciate it. I'm glad you found us. And like you said, every night, so I will tell you Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for jury selection, it is a 2-hour car ride for me to get there and a 2-hour car ride for me to get back. So the lives on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday regarding jury selection are going to be later. Oh, thank you so much, Josh, for becoming a member. Absolutely love it. So the lives are going to be later because you figure if court gets done around 5, 6, 7, 7 o'clock before I get back here, I've got to eat and all that stuff so it's probably going to be like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the evening Eastern time before I give you guys an update on what happened during jury selection. Yes, poor Quentin. It's awful what happened to him. For a parent to unalive you and throw your body in a dump. But this is the world that we live in. And these children are being taken. The amount of missing people in this country is astronomical. Absolutely astronomical. I could probably post I bet you in a day, at least 50, if not more, 5 to 10 minute videos on missing persons. So, you're welcome, Witchcraft, and you're right. Justice for Abby and Libby is the only thing that matters. Exactly. And that is why we're all here. We want to make sure that they get justice. We want to make sure that the truth comes out. So thank you all for joining me. I have to go and figure out how to sign into my StreamYard on my cell phone so that I can live stream from the prayer vigil tomorrow. So we will be live on this channel. I'll be showing you who else there and what's going on and talking to different people that are there tomorrow. And then it's come back where I'm staying and get a good night's sleep for an early drive Monday morning. So I want to thank all of you that have joined me today in the chat. I appreciate it. Josh, thanks again for becoming a member. Merchandise for the channel is coming out soon. And I will see you tomorrow. Remember, this channel is all about justice matters. And that is what we are walking for tomorrow and what we are looking for in the next month with this trial. Take care, everyone. Thank you. Please hit the like button, share, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye. Thank you for watching Beyond the Evidence. Today, I gave you my own opinions and analysis, but I always encourage you to do your own research and form your own conclusions. If you're interested in true crime and want to join me on this journey of discovery, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of my uploads. If you'd like to support the channel, join our membership, and if you have any suggestions for cases that you want me to cover, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and remember, justice matters. This is Beyond the Evidence, and I'll see you in the next video.